Hi everyone. Um, this is a video I've had people ask me to make. I was going, I put it off because I didn't quite know how to make it, so it's going to be a blog. This is on my haunted dolls or haunted objects in general. I often have people ask me, how do I get the dolls to flash the cat balls or use the K2 meter or use the rods or whatever it is. And the truth is, spirit communication comes down to respect and trust. The spirit has to trust you and it has to want to talk to you. Spirit don't have to talk to us. They don't have to tell us anything. They don't have to tell us who they are. They don't have to tell us their story. They don't have to flash a cat ball or a K2 meter. They don't have to do it. There's no obligation for a spirit to communicate with the living. It's a choice. And they choose to do it. And it comes down to trust. That spirit has to trust you in order to communicate. The spirit has to trust that you have respect, that you respect them, that you respect the vessel they've chosen, that you respect their free will, their choices. I've got a large spirit doll collection. I've got a large doll collection. There's probably 60%, 70% of that collection has some kind of attachment. The other has residual energy. Some of my dolls have more than one attachment. Some of my dolls have attachments and residual energy. And some of my dolls have non-human attachments. Some of them have elemental attachments. Some of them have slightly darker attachments. They're not negative, they're just slightly darker. But all of them trust me. They all trust me to communicate, and that's why they do it. They all trust that I have the respect for them as a person, because spirit are people. They were people. They still are people. They just exist on a different plane. So if you want a spirit doll or a spirited object to interact with you, you got to have respect. It has to feel that respect. It has to know that it has that respect. And it has to trust you. There's a lot of videos both on our YouTube channel and on my Dolly Spirit page of me asking the spirit questions using cat balls and K2 meters and dowsing rods and I think pendulums as well. That doesn't happen. That sort of communication does not happen overnight. It takes weeks of work. I have a spirit of a clown that's not this one, he's over there. Eric. Eric is a spirit that doesn't like being filmed. He doesn't like being on camera. He doesn't like you. He will only talk to you when he feels like it. He will only talk to you when he wants to. He will only flash his cat ball if he wants to get your attention and let you know he's there. He's not a spirit that will have large conversations with you. And one of the reasons for that is that he knows I can hear him. So he doesn't need to use the cat ball. He uses the cat ball to get attention. He's got a cat ball permanently. I'll swing the camera around, hang on. Hands full with a newbie, there he is. He knows I can hear him. And he has a cat ball on, which is it's on all the time. And if he chooses to use that, he will. And that will get our attention and we usually all go, "Hi Eric, how you going?" We have another doll that you may have seen both on YouTube and on my Dolly Spirit page. Her name's Genevieve. She is a 1990s part porcelain, part composition doll, and she's very different. Genevieve is a mourning doll. She is a doll that's made to represent a child that has passed away. Her hair in her wig is real. It's real human hair. I'm assuming it comes from the child that passed away. She is dressed in clothing that is made from something that the child wore or owned. And we suspect at some point she had human ashes inside the doll. Whether it's still there or it's been removed, I'm unsure, but we suspect that that's the case. And she is one that is very active. She's very active. She talks to us all the time. She has 3 cat balls, and she will choose which one she wants to set off. She will talk to my friends overseas in videos. She likes watching paranormal shows. She comes on drives with us when we go out paranormaling and go out on investigations. And she is very active. But in order to get that much interaction with the spirit has to trust you. The spirit has to know that you respect it and it respects you. I have another doll, BB. She's also in the videos. She's a 1950s hard plastic pedigree toddler doll. She's the little one whose eyes move and freak everybody out. She has to trust you. It's all about trust. It's all about respect. The spirit has to know you respect them, but they also have to know that you respect the vessel that they choose to inhabit or choose to be connected to. Because that doll meant something to that spirit, and that's why it's connected to it. Now, whether it was something their grandmother gave them or their mum, or they loved it as a child, or it was their only friend, or whatever it was something they loved. They had an emotional attachment to. And if you don't respect the vessel, the spirit won't respect you. This young lady here, she's a new recruit. This is Liza. She's one of the larger dolls I have. And when she arrived, she was particularly sad. She was very sad. And you will find that they have emotions like people. And if you don't recognize that that's not a negative thing, if you open a box to a doll and you suddenly feel a sense of sadness, or you get a headache, or you feel sick, or you get tummy cramps, whatever it is, they're not doing that on purpose. You're just picking up on what the spirit's feeling. And you have to choose how to deal with that. I have another doll in the Dolly room. His name's Angel. He's a little 1990s porcelain hobby doll. And he's a memorial doll. He's a doll that was made to look like someone. Kind of like Genevieve, but without all of the personalized bits. And you pick him up. And if you're female, he will attach to your aura and he will suck your energy. He doesn't know what he's doing is wrong. He doesn't know what he's doing can harm somebody. He just wants to be loved. He wants to feel loved. He wants to be loved. He wants to be held. He wants a mother. He doesn't know what he's doing is classed as an energetic vampire. He doesn't know that. He's not doing it deliberately. He's not doing it to harm people. He just wants love. The downside of holding Angel is he can make you very, very ill. He can make you very sick. He can give you tummy cramps. He can give you headaches. He can make you nauseated. And for me, if I hold him too long, he can trigger an epileptic seizure. So he's held in small doses. And I don't let too many people pick him up. It's me and probably 2 other people that can pick up angel that are female, because he does have that ability to affect the living and can make you very ill, but he doesn't do it intentionally. Angel is the spirit of a young premature baby whose lungs didn't develop properly, and it was at a time where premature babies, there was nothing they could do, and Angel was put into a box, a wooden crate, put in the corner of a room, and the door was shut. And nature took its course, and he died frightened, scared, and alone. So if you understand that side of it, you understand why he clings to the aura of any woman that picks him up. He's terrified of men because it was a man that did it. Spirit communication with spirit dolls, it's not a party trick. It's not something that the dolls have to do, the spirits have to do. They don't have to perform. They're not performing seals. It's not a sideshow act in a circus. It takes time. It takes patience. It takes trust, and it takes respect. Some spirit are more outgoing than others. You know, Bebe's a particularly outgoing little spirit. She'll talk to anybody if they can hear her. She doesn't like using cat balls. She uses her eyes. Bebe's eyes move they move on their own. People pick up Bebe and just can sense that she's a cheeky little so-and-so. But if she picks up that you're scared of her, or you think she's demonic, or you're frightened of dolls, she'll play on it. And she'll spin her head right round like the chick in The Exorcism. You know, because she's a young spirit who likes to take the mickey. And that's what she does. The little guy I'm holding at the moment is a new doll that just arrived. And he's very, very frightened, and he's very upset, and he's very scared. And he arrived this morning, and I don't think he really understands where he is at the moment. And sometimes spirit just need that connection. They need to know that they're okay. Especially if it's a child spirit. Especially if that spirit is a little bit confused as to where they are and what's happened. And especially if they've come from a place that nobody knew they were spirited. So he's just having a cuddle for a minute. I've had people ask me where I get my dolls from. I buy what I'm drawn to. I buy what talks to me. I don't buy them from haunted doll sellers, although some people do. And I know I've got a friend who sells dolls, who's a medium, who works with them and then sells them on. But that's not how I work. I buy what I'm drawn to, and 95.99% of the time, the doll's spirited. And spirit can attach to anything. It can attach to cars, it can attach to furniture, they can attach to books, clothing, jewelry, furniture, children's toys. So why not dolls? The prevalence of spirit connecting to dolls is more common than most people think, because dolls are a reflection of a human. They're a reflection of us. And for somebody who needs comfort, for somebody who is going through something rough, for somebody who's lost a child, who's going through a tough illness, a lot of the time someone gives them a doll. Dolls are very therapeutic. They're very good for calming anxiety and depression. I have a therapy doll. She's one of my spirited dolls. Her name's Amber, or Amber. And a lot of people use dolls as a means of calming down, of checking their emotions and stopping. Some people make them. Some people collect them. Some people, buy them. Some people, there are doll collectors. There's a massive community of mainstream doll collectors out there. And most of the dolls that are spirited don't look like your typical Chucky or Annabelle doll. They don't look all gaunt and like white-faced and with blood coming out of their mouth and their head spinning around. They look like this little fella. This is Chuck. They look like this little fella. They don't look creepy or scary. They just look like him. They look like Baby. They look like a doll, something someone's treasured, someone's loved. I have one doll. The doll's name is Claudia, but the spirit connected to Claudia is a male spirit named Klaus. Klaus is a very complicated spirit. There are many layers to Klaus. Klaus has many personalities. Klaus is a borderline sociopath, I think. Borderline psychopath, maybe. But he doesn't do anything negative. He doesn't. There are many layers to Klaus. He can present himself in 3 or 4 different ways. He can manifest as a well-dressed Victorian man in a top hat and cape with a cane, or he can manifest as a man in drag in a corset and fishnet stockings. He can manifest with horns in a black robe with a upside down pentagram on the back of it. And he can manifest as a young boy. He's a very complicated spirit, but it's all the same spirit, because Klaus is very complicated. I have a few reborn dolls in my collection. The reborn dolls are the very lifelike dolls that you see them online and you see people selling, and downtown they might have them in a pram or a cradle or a carrier, and you may not even realize it's a doll. The reborn dolls are therapy dolls, and they're also spirited. I guess what I'm trying to say, to answer the question I keep getting asked, how do I get my dolls to communicate? I don't get them to communicate. They choose to. You can't make people do things. You can't override free will, and it's the same with spirit. What you can do is encourage it. You can acknowledge the spirit's there. You can treat the spirit with respect. You can say hello, good morning, good night. You can make them a cup of tea. I do that with my 2 ladies. Genevieve likes a cup of tea. She asked for one. You can, change their clothes if they're in something that they're obviously not comfortable with. You can talk to them. You have to respect the vessel they're in if you want them to talk to you and give you respect. You have to respect that doll, that piece of furniture, that brooch, whatever it is, meant something to them and needs to be respected. I picked up a an object recently from the op shop, and it's a crucifix, and it's a big metal crucifix it's off a coffin, and there's a spirit connected to that crucifix. I cleaned up the crucifix and I put it in our cabinet, in the Dolly cabinet, as a mark of respect to the spirit connected to it. Spirit communication comes down to respect and trust. And that's your answer. I don't make my dolls do anything they choose to, because in the end they have free will. And we all have free will. So, from me, Liza, and little Chuck, take care, everyone. Bye.